You happy with me?
Well, you'll do. Hello and welcome to our art podcast.
Hello and welcome to our art podcast.
Yeah. It's as slick as ever.
As ever. It's me, Luca Shaw. Oh, we second naming here, don't we?
Yeah.
Me, Luca Shaw,
Yeah.
with our Matt Dean.
Yeah.
And today our...
John Tomlinson.
Yeah! I was going to try and say it at the same time, but yeah. Really,
Thanks for having me. Fan of the pod.
Oh, yeah.
Yes, John listens a lot.
Yeah.
Like, isn't that amazing? Not to say that, like, you know, I'm surprised. Like, it's you know, I'm glad people listen, but it's so lovely to hear how much you enjoy.
I like
listening.
it. I think particularly when you're working from home or you're kind of working in a single space, you'd be like, oh, I'm going to listen to some familiar people and chat about things that I like, which is the stuff that you do.
That is so great, isn't it?
Because it is like a bit like an internal comms thing,
It is.
as well as being an external information source.
No, that's a good point, that.
Because
Yeah.
John is a member of SBC, Standard Be Counted Theatre, who have a unit here at 1853 Studios.
Correct.
They do. And it's only been a few months, actually. No, 6 months maybe?
Yeah. April time, was it? March?
Yeah.
A few months.
So, but...
I think it feels like it's probably not as long because you're not always here.
Mhm.
You're out and about a lot, aren't you?
Out
So
and about.
we don't see that much of you, unfortunately.
But
that's
when we
because
do-
it's because you're busy doing important work.
Thank you.
Tell us about SBC Theatre.
Yes, please.
Yes, thank you for the lovely intro. So my name's John. I'm the Exec Director and Joint CEO of Standard Be Counted Theatre. So we are an arts charity and a theatre company of Sanctuary. And that means that we work with people from around the world who call Oldham or Sheffield or Bradford their home. They're the places that we work. So yeah, as you alluded to, we work in community spaces as well as different studios and arts venues and organisations across the country. And we have a small core team, a small but mighty core team of people.
Really mighty, actually.
Thank you. And we sometimes make theatre. We sometimes make film, digital projects. Sometimes we might make a football song, a football shirt. Who knows? If it's creativity at its widest lens, that's what we try and do. But it's all about enabling people to be safe and welcome in a particular environment, and to go against the hostile environment that's in the UK right now.
Because we have
Fabulous.
the briefest, we don't plan these things in intricate detail. Do
Can
we?
you believe that?
I know. Well, John, as a listener, you've probably never noticed that, have you? You've probably thought...
No, that is news to
It's news to you.
I am
I can't contain that.
He's a little peek behind the curtain. Oh, no.
I was here 2 hours before the call.
Yeah.
I mean, surely there'll be some briefing.
That's so funny.
But I think that's the beauty of it as a listener. You it's a chat that's for that moment in time only.
Yeah.
So
I think you can be too briefed in the media. So.
But on that point, though, there was some things that we said, like I personally wanted to cover, and partly, there's a reason you're here. Chelsea was going to join you, but she's not feeling too good, so she's not joining us today, which is a shame. But you'll be back to do a deep dive into SBC. But you've got a show coming up here, which is you can tell us about in a minute, and that's coming up in September, and we're recording this on the 2nd of September, so we need to get this out so people can listen and find out about it. But also, like you just said then about the welcome and the situation in this country at the moment, it's getting worse by the day. If you are an asylum seeker, an immigrant, just an immigrant, if you've got brown skin, if you look a bit different to the people who are angry and whatever. So I do think it's important that we talk about the work that you do and how that affects people the current situation affects people that you work with, and then how that links to the show that you've got coming up, because it is all very much related, isn't it? So,
And maybe a good place to start with that conversation is this idea of a theatre company of sanctuary, because I found that quite an interesting idea, because that idea of sanctuary is is obviously like a lovely idea, thinking about creating these safe spaces where people can be and feel welcome, and also people understand the difficulties that they're going through, and so loads and loads of explanations and kind of justifying themselves is not necessary. So could you explain what that means first and foremost, like what it is to be a theatre company of Sanctuary, or anything of Sanctuary?
Yeah, of course, yeah. So we are very proud of the first in the UK to have got that, which was a really interesting moment for us as a company. The origin story, very briefly, of SBC is that Rosie and I set the company up in 2010. So we're 15 years old this year. I know we don't look it, but we are very
you look 15.
We're very proud. I'll take that. So we were both University of Salford graduates and wanted to make new work, new writing particularly. So we did that and did some really interesting projects. And then the company shifted completely when we started to develop an idea around Yarl's Wood and immigration detention, and then started to work with City of Sanctuary, which is the amazing grassroots organisation across the country who support people. They're not a service provider. They're much more holistic than that. They're a grassroots organisation who are the conduit to people being welcomed into a new town or city or space, and then making sure that those people have got provisions and they know where to get particular support from.
Yeah.
So then there's a Theatre of Sanctuary network. Leeds Playhouse, the Young Vic were two of the first organisations to take that work into that particular realm. And then we became the first theatre company of Sanctuary, which was a commitment for, at the time was for 3 years, but we've continued that ever since. And it's about us being enablers to people seeking sanctuary, and by that term we say that specifically as people seeking sanctuary rather than asylum seekers, refugees, migrants, because we work with people in all different situations, and also we don't ask people what their status is, because we don't care, because we want to welcome people who are anywhere on that journey, and if they come to us via different organisations, we know that the spaces that we enable and we work within is absolutely the right people that we can deliver that work to. So it's about us being, as per the kind of the values on the t-shirt, being welcoming and empowering people and creating stuff that's about the world that we live in, and it's people's creativity, and it's about people, and it's about, sometimes it might be about their experience, but more often than not, it's about a place for art and creativity to live in a space where we know that it's sadly not welcomed in some occasions, in some spaces. So it's our active, I think, activism on a kind of daily, hourly, minute by minute basis, and then working with people in different groups, but also our staff team and also freelancers who we work with, to come up with ideas and concepts that are celebratory and positive and hopeful, particularly about the world that we live in, and to have a positive look at the narrative that we get told otherwise about.
I think when you use that word sanctuary, in of itself, it has to be that place. It has to be a place where you can leave behind the other things that you're struggling with. That's the whole sanctuary is a place of escape, I suppose. When the rest of the world is hidden from it. And like you said, going over past experiences and reliving trauma. If that's what they want to do, and you want to run with that, you'll run with it with them. But if they want to do something completely different that is just freeing, it must be so. It must be so, because people come to you and you don't ask, and they might not share. They might share, coming from all kinds of horrendous situations. And it's just, I think it's so important to talk about. And make people aware that there are people like you and what you do out there supporting people. When, if you was to, look at the news and social media, you think that everybody hated everybody who came into this country. It's just nonsense.
A misrepresentation. Massive misrepresentation on lots of counts.
100%. Yeah. I mean, if you were to watch GB News, I've got such a. I hate GB News with a passion. Yeah. But if you to watch that, and people do, then they believe a version of reality that is just not anywhere near close to actual reality. But what I wanted to ask you was, how is the current situation affecting the people that you work with, and have you seen a change in them and their behaviour and how they're feeling and all that kind of stuff. Or, you know, I think things have ramped up over the last 12 months or 18 months or so. How is it affecting them?
Yeah, vividly and on a daily basis. I think for our staff team, for the people we work with on a regular basis, our core team and freelancers as well. But also for context, SBC regularly works with 4 different groups of people. So 1 in Oldham, 2 in Sheffield, including a youth theatre group, and 1 in Bradford. So every week we're supporting and welcoming and enabling anywhere between 100 and 150 people across those 4 different groups. So that's a lot of people. And we obviously have like very efficient ways of supporting people and doing the things that you would expect that we do from a safeguarding point of view. But I think that there is a particular feeling right now that we sadly have become accustomed to in the last year. I think particularly after last summer and what happened, that the places that we work and the people that we're working with regularly are coming to us with lots of particular situations that are hard to listen to and hard to help people with, because we're brilliant people, our team as well, and we have to then understand where our work is and where it's best served, but also then how we can support people to get the services that they are so desperately crying out for. So we feel it, and we tend to feel these things, I think, probably more instantly than other organisations do, who are bigger in terms of resources, because we have such a deep personal connection with people who we regularly see, once or twice or even more times a week. They're so often, as an example, something that might have happened just at the weekend in terms of kind of things that were going on in Oldham, we expect to be faced with some things in terms of just people's comments or thoughts or anxieties, or will they come to the session tomorrow is always a bit of an unknown for us. So we work in a particular way which is very rigid in terms of like our safeguarding and our support of people, but also incredibly flexible to the environment that we're in. What space are we using that particular day? Who might we expect to see? What kind of things are going on in the kind of public domain that might affect our team and the people that we work with? And that's a kind of constant shift, and just being really agile as a team to understand that people might be in a really great space tomorrow and might be really hopeful and celebratory in a really positive session. But also, I think for all of our team, recognising that things are happening and people might feel a certain way. So we just have to know that. And
does that manifest, like with you saying you can notice the changes in the last 12 to 18 months, does that manifest in more of like a general sense of it, or are people or a lot of your participants come in and saying, I've received these kind of comments, are they seeking advice, or are these topics that are being conversed with everyone more regularly, or are you also noticing a decline in participation?
Interestingly not.
Okay.
I think actually
that's good to hear, at least.
Yeah.
I mean,
I mean, our participant numbers have been, very strong across all the programme of work that that we're delivering, excuse me, across the 3 places, and actually only getting stronger, only becoming, I guess, in a way more important, because other services are being restricted or don't happen anymore. That we provide a space that is about being hopeful and celebratory and positive, and it's art and it's theatre, it's creativity, and everyone can do that. And it might be that a participant sits and does some gorgeous painting for a couple of hours. It's just that space to not think, to not even speak sometimes. Sometimes our sessions are very, very calm and relaxed, and other times they're incredibly energetic and we're going to be moving and dancing and throwing ourselves around a rehearsal room. But I think what definitely is happening is that people are asking more about what's going on. There's confusion. There's just a complete lack of understanding about why things are being misinformed in the media, about how they can just understand the situation, and then be in our space and look to us as a team of people who do recognise the situation, the challenges, but also that there's that space dedicated in the middle of the week or whenever it is to do the things that we can do best. And that's what we do.
That must be an incredibly difficult position for you to be in as well, I guess, because you know them. You know, these are people that are fantastic individuals, like super creative, and just there to have a good time like anybody else. And then you also know and are experiencing and have this understanding of what's happening on the other side. So how do you manage that, being able to sort of say, this is what some people think. This is I'll try to explain why they might think that, but that must be such a difficult conversation to have. And it also must be quite difficult for you all emotionally and like on an emotional level to have to witness that, have this very clear understanding of why that is, and then having to sort of like take that and try to explain that to a group of individuals that it's essentially aimed at. Yeah,
and I think that what's happening particularly right now, it feels just inexplicable. Therefore, in trying to, we might also get it wrong. So it feels actually sometimes better in particular situations where we don't. We just know about it. We all know the situation, and of course we'll do our best to help people to be guided to the right places for particular needs. But I think also then doubling down and going, no, this is a creative space. This is for you. This is absolutely about you. We want you to have the best time for the next couple of hours, and there will be a hot meal. There will be expenses paid. This is our act for this particular week for you, and then also we want to be able to share your culture, your experiences, your ideas in a showcase of art and creativity. So I think that's the interesting moment for us as a team, is that we're also in that position of not understanding why this is happening, and we have our views on it as individuals and as a collective. But I think that therefore going, this is what we do, and actually we're going to do it bigger, bolder, and better now. And this particular group of people, so they tell us, need us more than ever, and therefore we'll continue to do it, and we'll do the work that we have to do to get funding, to get partners on board, to do all of that.
But you have to kick back. There has to be a bit of a fuck you to the people that are trying to make on purpose people's lives so hard. And as a result, the sessions that people have with you might be the only sort of humanity that they experience from people
Hopefully
in a week.
Not.
I hope not. But it might be, depending on, they might not go out very much.
But you're right.
If they spend a lot of time on their own or with but in terms of like from quote unquote native people or whatever. So, but I wanted to ask you, has it affected the output, the creative output, the art, the sessions? Has things changed at all, or does it not really have an effect?
It's probably hard to quantify that, I think, for us, because we work in such a sort of collaborative way. And people say, oh, I'm so collaborative, blah, blah, blah. Like, but really, like, if you come to one of our sessions, we would urge you to just sit and watch it and go, who was leading that? Well, it's held by one of SBC's team, but then it's led by the people that are there. And actually, if there's a particular creative task or idea that just isn't flowing after 5 minutes, we're going to put that to bed and we're going to do something else, because we want people to be encouraged to go, actually, can we do something that I've been thinking about for the last week? And we go, great, over to you, take the floor. That's when SBC sessions are at their best. But that might come from a sort of I guess from a negative place. In someone's got like an urgent thing that they want to say because it's happened to them. But then we kind of then collectively find our way to go, well, yeah, let's start with that. But also, how can we build upon that as a group of people so that it's more inclusive to this particular person's experience or what's going on here? So it then does become more, more an endeavour that's shared. And I think that the more people you get on board with that, then I think people understand the kind of the bigger picture to go, okay, well, yeah, if we were to do this for us all and be more representative, then great. It's better placed if it's more celebratory or hopeful, so that people can respond to that and interact with it as an audience, generally speaking. But we definitely know that, sometimes for sure that people have had a particular situation that they want to talk about, and it's absolutely key to driving a particular project, and then we build upon it. But Ripples is a good example of a particular situation that happened, and then driving it in a way that brings more people into it.
Would you believe it if I told you that that's kind of where I was trying to point the conversation?
Very good.
Yes.
Very well done.
So Ripples
Great segue.
is production that is going to be staged here because Luca. Is it because you got some of the Arts Council funding? Is it to do that, or is it a separate thing? Is it?
We went in together when we originally were putting our Arts Council bid together. I'd been having conversations with you about projects that you had on at the time, and this particular one, Ripples, was so exciting because it straddles different art forms, both theatre, performance, art, all these different video, digital, sound. It's a real multidisciplinary piece, so it was quite exciting. And the idea was that it was staged inside of a gallery, so that was really exciting. So yeah, I mean, we've received Arts Council funding, so therefore we've been able to give the space in kind. So that's been how we've been doing it, and then we've been sharing different sort of like responsibilities along it. But this is mainly an SBC thing, and they have an incredible team that we are mostly benefiting from, if I'm totally honest. They have an incredible team of people, and Taff, the lead artist on this, who wrote it and stars in it, is also just an incredible person to have met. So we're so happy that we have it in the space. So, but
it's so great though that now, because like, this place is really starting to come alive, and the connections. And I'm talking, I mean, obviously 1853 has been going for a while, and the other side, but as a Mill 2 resident, not that there's a divide or anything, but you're starting to see this place. It's filled up with units, it's filling up with people, it's filling up with organisations like SBC, and now that space. We had Dare to Know Theatre in over the last week doing their arts festival, which has been a massive success, and now you've got the next thing is Ripples, and we've had exhibitions, and it's just starting to get really exciting, or it already is really exciting, but you're starting to see the potential of the arts in Oldham, specifically, because that's where we are, even though we've got a Cheshire Bird and a Yorkshire lad here.
Flipping heck.
I can't help it. But what you're putting on, you're going to tell us about Ripples now, is so of the moment in relation to what you've just said. It's a really like multi media production, but in terms of its content and what we've just been talking about, it really is totally hyper relevant, isn't it?
Just to share a bit more about what it is and how it came about. So Taff is a friend of ours, an associate artist of SBC, and we've been on this journey with him throughout the whole situation. So we met him, we were touring a previous production of ours called Tanya, which was about immigration detention, which was led by an amazing woman called Emily and Chagaza Wood, who's one of our trustees now, which is wonderful. And we went on a couple of national tours of that particular production, and we met Taff at a particular point in his life where he just received a letter from the Home Office saying that he will be deported at the same time as his family all being given citizenship. So he kind of came to see the show, and it resonated with him, and obviously his particular situation at the time. So we spoke with him at length and understood very quickly that we wanted to kind of give a space and a platform for him to be able to develop some of his work. At the time, he wasn't able to work or study, so we had to be really mindful of his particular situation. And that was 8 years ago, and that kind of feels like only 5 minutes ago. And he is the most wonderful, charismatic, beautiful human. I mean, he's incredibly talented as well. We're all jealous of how talented he is.
I can vouch for all of these words.
So I think it kind of the very short story to sort of how this has materialised is that he worked with us on two previous projects. One of which called Where We Began, which was a story of 5 people in a kind of dystopian future about what happens if everyone gets told that they have to go back to where they began, in inverted commas. So he was one of the 5 actors that were in that play, and his story was, within that particular production. And we then worked on him following that in 2021, made a documentary about where he was up to then on his journey. And then this is the third part, because everyone loves a trilogy, right? So I think we always expected that Taff might come our way with the kind of, this is the full autobiographical story of what happened. He tells this story so articulately and brilliantly that I can't do it justice. But during that particular period of time, I think at first it was very much that he was thinking, this is an admin error. This can't be happening to me. This is completely ridiculous that all of my family can stay and now I'm been told.
And just for reference, where is he? Where did he? Was he born here? Was he born?
So
where was he born?
He moved here when he was young on a family working visa with his. So invited here is the kind of key part of that story.
Yeah.
And then was told he would have to go back to Africa. So kind of in the play, no spoilers, but it's the reality of is that I don't speak the language. How what do you mean? Where exactly?
He doesn't know this place.
What you want about? I have no family there. I've got no belongings there. Will I have a phone? All these things that go through your brain as at the time he was 18, 19 when he met us. So all these things were going through his head at the same time as the complete lack of support from his university and people who just weren't there for him. So we went on.
It's kind of like you being told you're going to get sent to Africa because
yeah.
you've grown up here.
Yeah. Absolutely.
And you've got no connection, like family connections, you've got no experience, but so it's really the same thing, isn't it?
That's exactly
it's crazy.
Yeah.
Like,
because
you put yourself in that situation and be like...
And I think he was about 4 or something like that?
He was very young.
Very young,
came,
so no memory. Wow. So it is like us, having zero memory of where you were born or where you were with those first few years of your life. You're here.
You're home. You're at home.
British.
Your family's here. You're grown up here. Yeah. That's mad.
Absolutely insane reality to be.
Sorry to cut you across you, but just kind of that was the overwhelming sort of feeling when you were saying that of how ridiculous that sounds.
Yeah. So then, as articulated in the production and in the story, he made all these little video diaries at the time. And then presents that back to the audience now to go, look at this, look at what happened. And this, in a way could happen to anyone. And also then the celebratory part of it is that look where he is now, look how defiant he was. He's representing so many different people who have gone through different stories of home office situations and beyond, and the kind of hostile environment. And he's now in a place where he's working for an amazing organisation with Channel 4. He's on loan to SBC for this project, which is brilliant and fab that he can come and do this. So we've been working with him for a long time, and particularly on this production for nearly 3 years now, to get it into a place where it's ready for people to see, which is multidisciplinary, set in a gallery space here and in Sheffield. So we're nearly there with it, but we really hope that people, when they do come and see it, and we encourage everyone to come and see it, that they understand the context of what is going on right now, and how actually it's not about this group of people or this kind of data that we're given on Radio 2 bulletins and whatever. This is people. This is the reality like people are going through, and it's so many different variations of stories that we hope that this doesn't represent them all, because it can't. It's too complex, but at least is a moment in time where people go, oh wow, I never imagined that could happen to me or to someone in my family or down my street, etc.
They are all unique stories, and painting everything with one brush and saying everything's the same is obviously ridiculous.
And really dangerous.
But he could have been your friend at school, your friend at uni, and then all of a sudden, like this guy that you love, your mate, they're saying, like, for whatever reason, he's going to have to go, like, what? You wouldn't accept that if it was anybody else. If did you just wouldn't accept it, and why should you accept it? And presumably his friends and family didn't, and he obviously didn't, and that's great. And if you want to know the full story, when's it on?
So you can come and see it in Oldham at 1853 Studios, Mill 2 crew over here, from the 17th to the 20th of September.
Right.
Yeah. And I was also going to say, about that, like, I think that idea that you can all of a sudden have that moment where you go, what? Depending on who you are and your level of understanding of what the process is in this country of coming here at whatever stage you might be in, seeking asylum, refugee status, going for citizenship, whatever, immigration, whatever that might be, whatever stage you're at and whoever you might be, realising that penny drop moment to say, oh, I thought it was like this, and now I realise it's not for everyone. There are so many of these situations where, and I've been learning so much, both working with you guys and with other organisations that we're working with currently, that these situations are so difficult and so, like, I think the word you used earlier was like harrowing, like. And starting to understand the systems that are in place, that if you were just to listen to that very, very minimal, really problematic, dangerous rhetoric that we get, you would not. There is no room for those little corners of understanding. There's no room for that. And even me just understanding, and remembering, asylum can't be sought from the country that you are in. You have to be here to do that. Just simple things like that people don't quite understand, that you have to come here to seek asylum, that there isn't any other option, and things like that. And with this especially, my jaw dropped to hear that this had happened to Taff. And I'm just thinking, gosh, how many other people are in this situation that, like you say, are being tainted with that same brush, or that misinformation is just so dangerous.
Dismissing everybody as a dangerous criminal, potential dangerous criminal, when people that I've got a very good friend who seeks asylum to come here, and I met him. He's a wonderful guy. I love him to bits. He's like a brother, and he's doing incredibly well. He's so entrepreneurial. He's so positive. He's such an asset. He'd be an asset anywhere he was, and so it's so dismissive to just presume that everybody, you've got great artists like Taff, you've got my mate, you've got all these other people.
Yeah.
It's just, it drives me insane. And I guess like you're in the thick of doing something very, very proactive, John, like with SBC on a daily basis. There's people like myself who are getting frustrated at maybe not doing enough. From your own experience and from what you do, is there anything that you can say to encourage people who are feeling as frustrated as I am, and obviously Luca is, and a lot of people in terms of participation and kicking back against this like really destructive narrative that's around at the minute?
Yeah, happily we'll share some thoughts on that. Yeah. I think the first thing is to be welcomed into a space, and we feel very looked after here at 1853, and what I mean is SBC, but also the people that we work with. So when we've brought participant groups here to see the space, to be at the workshops, etc., that's the first thing, to genuinely go, yeah, I am actually going to welcome people seeking sanctuary. I'm going to talk to people. I'm going to actually be positively encouraging to go, you're welcome here. Come and let's have a brew. Let's have a conversation about what's going on and be celebratory. So we also recognise we're a charity, but also amazing organisations across the country, the Red Cross, City of Sanctuary, Assist, who are based in Sheffield particularly, who are doing great work. So I would encourage people to share the information that they're putting out about what's really going on, firstly on socials, and obviously where you can get involved, participate with them, volunteer with them, and be a trustee, or all those different things that you can do as different situations. And then on a kind of local level or in conversation level, we had a great conversation with the team from DPAC the other day with Mabube saying about ask the right question, ask an open question. You might know when things are going to go down a sort of a track that feels uncomfortable, but asking a really good open question about what is it that you mean by that, or why do you think like that? Who told you that? Because actually we know now that the conversation is so in the news, to the point where there's almost no other news. Yeah. Like it feels like it's such a one topic news world that we're living in, that then people don't have the courage or the kind of ability to ask the right question, or to even say, just so you know, asylum seekers are not allowed to work in this country. Fact. Like that. So when people might say something, you go, hang on a second, I'm just going to point out that this is the fact, because we're also in a world which is harder because misinformation is spread at a rate of not. So therefore, it's harder to control things because facts don't even speak any louder than anything else. So I think, have the conversations if you feel comfortable. Ask some questions of people if it's relevant, but also then sharing information about good organisations that are doing good things, support people in rooms where you can. And I think also, just for us, one thing that we definitely encourage people to do is to be campaigning, to be telling MPs, to be telling local councils about what's really going on and how you feel, because we know that there's such a binary situation going on that even though it's not it might not necessarily be a kind of balanced conversation. We hope we know where people sit on this item, and actually people who get in the media by saying particular things are getting more spotlight, because that's what happens, is that actually the media will profile that because they want that situation. They want clicks. They want people to have that that in their space. So I think tell people that you welcome them, tell people that you love them, care about them, and tell your MPs and local councils that actually you do want people seeking sanctuary to be in your community.
And I think the answer to my question is actually in the name of your theatre company. In it, really. Like, we've got to that point now, and I went to listen to Jeremy Corbyn speak in Oldham the other day. I've also been to a reform meeting just to listen. I'm trying to be, take it all in. I knew I wasn't going to be inspired to go and vote reform when I went or anything like that, but I thought, at least if I've been, I can say I've been and listened.
Yeah,
and the same thing we're going for a Corbyn thing. I don't think Corbyn is like the next Prime Minister of Britain, but I think what he's doing with his party is interesting. So I recorded a TikTok like I did after my reform one, but it's like I've sat in front of the camera and waffled on and ranted on for 13 minutes. So like I need to edit that down a little bit before I can post it on TikTok. But my message, if you like, in that, or my learning and where I'm at now is you've got to stand up, whatever like if you've got a position that believes like we all believe and like Stand and Be Counted believe that people just can't be allowed to be victimised. We can't go down this fascistic, it's a difficult word, fascist route. We can't go down this route of hate and victimisation and all. We can't do it. So what do we do? Do we sit back? Do we let it happen? Do we watch from afar? Or do we stand up and be counted and get involved and participate?
And it's that other thing as well. Like I was driving around near where I live, and so many flags have been erected near where I live. And I was shocked, I was upset, I was confused. And I was like, where can I put this energy? And I was also thinking, if I feel like that, how is somebody feeling if they're seeing that and they're thinking, what? Like, this is where I live. Are they going to think that and as much as the conversation is, oh, we're not putting it up as an attack against anyone, blah blah blah. That we know what they're representing,
and we know who's behind it.
We know
what's
going on. We know what's going on. And I was thinking, like, what can I do? I was like, I want to pull it down right now. Who do I go to? Who do I ask to take that down? Because it's not on. It's not. And I was kind of saying like that, like, not in my name. Like, no. So I kind of thought, how must that person be feeling? Must they feel that everybody around them thinks this? And then I thought, right, so is counter protest really important? Because I was kind of thinking, if you're somebody who is an immigrant in this country, are you then thinking like everybody feels that way? And that a part of me just wants to, everyone en masse, go and show I don't feel this way, so that they feel welcomed, so that they feel like, oh, I'm glad to see that it's only a few, because it is so loud right now. It's so loud. So do you feel like counter protest, because there was this conversation around how helpful physical protest is, like physical presence in a demonstration sense is, and often it's not possible for everyone for their own personal circumstances to physically be there. But is that still important, do you think, to turn up physically and be present?
I would say so.
Yeah,
I would say so. And again, my particular views on that maybe aren't representative of all the participants that we work with, but certainly the people that we do know really, really well and deeply would be saying, we need to count on you to be there as much as you can in whatever version that might be. And you kind of put it really articulately, both of you, that I think the moment has gone where people can sit now and think about this.
I agree.
On a sort of like an intellectual level, because actually that isn't getting out there enough. You need to get up and do something.
At the same time, we've got to build bridges with people that are on, I don't want to say the other side, because it's
also frightening.
It's so divisive.
Yeah.
But it's like, where do you put that energy? And I think as artists and creatives and people with microphones and equipment and platforms and that is where we need to put our energy. We need to try and translate some things into, like, this podcast is hopefully going to reach some people who don't necessarily agree with us, but might give them at least some kind of food for thought, and opening up dialogue, because I stand with everybody. I don't want to alienate myself from the people who I live around and in with. I don't want their lives to be difficult. I don't, as much as I don't want somebody who arrived here on a small boat's life to be difficult. I want everybody's life to be better. And there are core reasons why the country's in the state it's in. It's got nothing to do with people coming over on small boats. Like there is ample evidence for anybody who wants to go and actually find out. It's all out there. So we are like up against a very difficult amount of information and a counter narrative, which is just not true, unfortunately. But things like this show show the humanity, they show an individual's experience, and through art and the way it's delivered, although I haven't seen it yet, but the way I can expect it's going to really, hit home emotionally, creatively. That's...
I've been in the rehearsal room, and I can say even just watching rehearsals still on script, massively moving for all of the people that were in that room. I would implore everybody to come and see it. And I would also, on that note, say, if you are someone who feels like, you have the answers, and the answers are these what we would consider problematic ideas, but you consider to be the truth of the situation. Come and watch it. We would like everybody to come and watch this. And bring someone
who thinks that way. If you don't,
it does change the narrative, and it does just show and give a specific example, which often people need, because sometimes when it is just a big kind of entity without a real face, it's very easy to let hate run riot. But when you realise that these are actual people with actual lives like Taff, it hopefully can hit home that actually maybe I've not quite got this right, or maybe some of the things I'm thinking aren't quite correct, or have been misconstrued in a way that suggests otherwise. So yeah, it would be fantastic if people could come and see it and bring everyone along.
Bring everyone along, yeah. And I think perfectly put again, that I would encourage everyone to come and see that show and take it in, and then ask some questions.
Yeah.
Of yourselves, of each other, of the people you just witnessed it with. And I really, really hope that people then just understand a little bit that this is people. This is a particular person representing his story that's autobiographical, but also then have that moment of reflection to go, how might I be able to just rethink what I thought I knew? And be open to that. Just be open to that for as long as you can be open to that, because the world is busy. But yeah, also what you said, Matt, about if people are feeling a particular way about their own circumstances and what they do or don't have and what they're aspiring to be, but feel like they can't get to the next step of their journey, whatever that might be, that's the way it's being billed or told to us now, is that it's because of this particular reason that's in the headlines. And yeah, again, would love people to do some fact finding and their own research about what might really be going on right now.
I'm frustrated because I know that, because I worked with you on the Globus project, made a podcast recording of that. I've seen firsthand how you work, how welcoming you are to everybody in that situation. Was the bus, that was just I was going to say the vehicle, but quite literally the vehicle for you to deliver what you were doing. But whichever space you open up to the public, whoever the public are, I think it's the same welcome, it's the same warmth, it's the same invitation. And people who do not experience a broad range of people, a broad range of interaction, a broad range of culture, are missing out in life. That's the thing. And it's their fear that restricts them. And it's a shame, and I feel sorry for them, because, I've been to other countries and I've been the only white face, and I've been in situations in my life where I've gained great experience and understanding and lots of, conflicts and being welcomed and relationship. Not everybody has those experiences, and it's everyone's unique. Like with Taff's story, everything's unique. how we get to where we get to. But people who aren't fortunate enough or don't allow themselves to experience all the different flavors of life and all the different people and just open themselves up and take a judgment in.
Yeah.
And missing out on so much. You're missing out on, you might, people say, well, that ripples, that sounds shit. I'm not going to enjoy it, because people will. Or why would I want?
Fair enough.
And there's an opportunity there. If that's what you think, go along, see if it surprises you. You might walk away going, "That was shit. I knew it was going to be shit." At least you've seen it.
You absolutely,
but at least, I don't expect people who think like that are going to go and see it probably. But but going and everything's a new experience at some point, and some things are wonderful, and some things maybe not so. But
what I was going to say on that point, you reminded me of with SBC, what we try and do as much as possible is to work in different environments so that our work is being presented and represented in different spaces. So we're as likely to turn up on a big American school bus as we are in an art gallery or a theatre or on a steam train, et cetera, et cetera. Yeah. And that's strategic. Yeah. Like we love doing that because A, it pushes our creative boundaries about what's possible, and B, it means that some of those conversations are just put in different spaces, and we think that's really important.
Yeah, where people wouldn't usually be exposed to that kind of experience or conversation.
And we certainly enjoy the fact that people don't know what's going to happen next for an SBC project, and because it hasn't been planned yet, and it might be planned tomorrow or the next day. But what I know for sure is it'll be something that even we haven't experienced, because it'll be with a group of people who are creating it in a way that's absolutely of that moment and is right for that particular piece of work. So who knows what SBC's next project will be, but I love the thrill of that, because I love the fact that we don't know what we're going to do in a few months' time.
But that's an exciting way of living. Never mind, that's an exciting way of working and an exciting way of creating, but it's an exciting way of living. And I think that's one of the things that, as we come to the end of the podcast, it's like the conversation we have about the creativity and just going in the direction that feels right. Like what feels good, and pushing yourself and taking risks. That's how you live life. Don't just lock yourself away with the same group of people, the same friends, the same pub, the same estate. All these things are limiting, and you don't grow. Like people get to a certain point in their life and stop growing, don't they? They stop participating, and it all just comes darker and darker and darker. And I've been there. I've been in that mental space, and I've been in that situation, and I know for myself. And since my life changed and I've started to say yes to things, yes to people, yes to experiences, yes to risk, my life is so much better. And I think that, when you've got the dividing line between protesters and counter-protesters and whatever, I think there's probably a lot of, different, the type of people that I'm describing are probably described to be on one side or the other. So I think that's why I feel for people who are in the situation where they feel so angry and they don't know where to put their anger. I do feel empathy for those people as well. That's why I'm so frustrated.
Me too.
Yeah, and actually that we've already kind of touched on is that our kind of act of positivity and us making work is because we want to find that place to have the conversation and go, we might all disagree at the start or end of this, but it's good to have the conversation.
Either way.
I might have learned something from someone who's completely different to me, but I hope that I'm still, understanding enough to recognise where I might be wrong, or I might have made a mistake, or I could think about things differently. So I hope that there's enough space still in the middle of that to go, in the middle of it is definitely human stories where people go, I didn't, and now I do. I recognise that someone might have felt that particular way by something I've done inadvertently, or something that I didn't know that I was doing because I wasn't conscious of it. Well, here's a time to come together and do that, because I think fundamentally people do want everyone's lives to be better and to be safer and fairer. And actually, I have to believe that to do my job, but I have to do that. I have to believe that to just live in this place that we do now. I think if I stop believing that, I think my life would be very different. But I think I have to believe in the good of people.
Yeah.
And doing what we do is really challenging and is tough. Sometimes hour by hour, sometimes daily, but we have amazing highs where we get to see so many people be celebrated and do positive, creative things, and that I wouldn't change for the world. What I would change for the world is for more people to see it and just have the opportunity to understand what it might be like for them, or even a minute or 5 minutes or for 70 minutes with this particular example, to just be in that space to go, I never thought that could be me, but actually this particular production we're working on tells everyone that it's not as far away from being you as you think.
Yeah. And I think that's what I admire about SBC and the way that you challenge that whole situation and the way you participate is so positive and so uplifting. And because I'm constantly pulled between just anger and wanting to kick off. And I don't mean like physically fight necessarily, but in terms of my language and my aggression and my tone and how I want to communicate with people.
Me too.
And try not to pull myself back into a more constructive space. It's so hard to do.
It is.
And SBC, you know, when the office door shuts and all that, and you go home and you're in your car, whatever, you have those feelings too. I've no doubt about it. But fundamentally, what you do and the work you do is about holding on to hope and positivity and building bridges rather than knocking them down. And I just think you do a great job. And
me too.
I'm really glad that you are here. And I can't wait for Ripples on what are the
17th to the 20th of September 2025.
Yeah.
So you've got 3 nights? Is it 3 performances?
No, more.
More than that. Wednesday through to Saturday.
Wednesday? So, just one performance a day?
Some matinees in there as well. So plenty of opportunities.
So there's, right, I'm just saying, I just want to get people to know, but it is still limited.
And then the second week, the set that has been constructed as part of the Ripples performance will remain for the following week, and it will turn into a bit of a public programme setup where we're going to have a couple of kind of workshops and some responsive workshops where we can then present things that people have made in response to the work or the show, having a bit of a session with TAF, a bit of like a TAF Talks thing that's planned and bits and bobs like that. And then we have a collaborative event with an organisation we are both collaborating with called Deepact, which we've mentioned a little bit before, but we'll also have on the show soon.
Yes.
Because again, all this kind of thing, yet again, another organisation who are doing really great work to support people from all over the world and from different backgrounds. And so, so the second week, even if you can't make the first week, the second week, we're still going to have stuff going on. Yeah. Maybe after this conversation, we need to think about having a bit more like resources or stuff like that, maybe stuff for people to take away. But these are all ongoing conversations. So that second week's going to be quite interesting, I think. A bit more of a kind of like play space.
It kind of sounds like as well, if you've been to the show and it's really affected you, it's a really great way of then diving further into it.
Absolutely.
And continuing that experience, and then after that, I guess there might be something else that's undefined, but that you might go into. Yeah. But that's the kind of thing, I think, if you are passionate about helping people who are vulnerable and kicking back against potentially other vulnerable people who are being manipulated by other. But if you want to participate and you believe, like SBC does, that that there is positivity, there is hope, then participate, and this might be a really nice way to start that.
Yeah. So to buy a ticket, it's through Oldham Coliseum's website. So we'll pop it in the link on this show notes, and we'll also pop your website link in there because I'm sure there'll be tons of other things you've got going on, as always, in and around the north. Yeah.
So come and say hello to us as well during the Ripples production. So all of our team will be around for that, which is fab. And also to note that on our website there'll be like an activism toolkit on there that we're creating, so that people can get involved in lots of the work and the organisations that we mentioned. And I think that we really encourage people to sort of take that away and go, I'm interested in that particular part of it.
Yeah.
We recognise this is such a big topic, and also that sometimes in the moment it's hard to hear it or pick up on what you might be able to do, but we want to then give people the time and space to go, come to the digital exhibition the following week, come to one of our workshops, come to the space, just see what it feels like when you're back in that space when the production's not happening, and respond to it. Come and maybe make our next show with us. Who knows? Yeah.
I love that.
That is what happens. That's happened every
that's
time.
Beautiful.
I think we've done.
That's so natural, snowballing, organic.
That's how it happened
growth.
with Taff. He came to see our show. We met him after the show, and then here we are.
Yeah,
you make changes. You really do. Stand and be counted. Make real change in the world. Yeah, it's absolutely.
I think
stunning.
we're very privileged to have
so privileged.
people like Stand and Be Counted. We've got Dare to Know. We've got other people in here who are doers.
Yes.
Who see things need doing,
and they do it.
And they do it, and that's fantastic.
Yeah.
And that's exactly what towns like Oldham need. They need doers.
Yeah.
Everywhere needs it. There's a lot. It's very easy to get caught up in the negativity of the comments on social media, but real change happens in rooms with people, doesn't it? And doers.
It does. And what I would say, this is a plug for our football shirt if you haven't bought one yet.
Oh yes, the football shirt.
So which was a 15th anniversary football shirt that we came up with as an idea in our group in Sheffield, so our soapbox group over there. So young adults from around the world who we've been working with for many years were producing a fashion show, which we were super excited about. As part of that, we connected with a couple of amazing artists, one of which runs a community sportswear company, and collaborated with them to make two sort of home and away peace and sanctuary football shirt, which has gone really well and has got lots of really lovely people to share about it on social media.
Celebrities, right?
Some celebs on there, which is great. So
they're really smart though, aren't they?
They
are really smart.
They're actually just lovely.
They're really good.
Yeah, really great.
And the message is great.
And I think it's about that. That might be that one. Wearing that shirt for us, for people who have worn it and have bought it and have supported us by doing it, enables people to be in rooms with us, to have a hot meal, have their expenses paid for, to have that 2 hours on a Wednesday afternoon or whichever version in their town or city that's for them, to be with us, to be in a safe, creative environment. So it's a charitable act, but it also is a political act. If you wear a football shirt that has the word peace on it in Arabic, there's the message for the day. Yeah. And it attracts attention.
Can we put the link in the show notes?
Get the link in the show notes.
Do it.
Lots to see in the show notes.
I know. and lots to digest
so much
from
to
this
do.
Conversation. I think it's been absolutely fantastic.
Yeah.
I think we've straddled the line of politics, art, society, people. It's just been very, very interesting, and I hope people listening will have enjoyed it.
And I'm going away feeling that little bit more positive.
Good. Me too.
Great. Yeah, no, it's been really good. Thanks, John.
Fan of the pod, and
Are you going to listen to yourself back on the pod, do you think?
I probably should. But it's always a bit awkward listening to yourself back, isn't it? But
I do it all the time.
Oh, great. Well, yeah.
I mean, I haven't got any choice.
I really don't, but I will this one.
Yeah.
I'm excited. Yeah.
Excellent.
Well, thanks again.
What are you having for your tea?
Oh, fuck. Jeez. Yeah, what are you having for your tea, love?
I'm looking forward to it, actually. It's a chicken thigh and gnocchi thing.
Oh, stunning.
I saw it knocking about earlier. I just didn't mean to be that funny. Can't stop. So that's on the plate tonight, yeah. Not
stunning.
made by myself, made by my beloved Becky.
Well, I hope you
nice
enjoy
one,
your
Becky.
tea.
Yeah. What are you having, Matt?
I don't know.
Fuck's sake,
I never know.
No, what?
He never knows, does he? You know. He never knows.
When do you plan it? Like, what do you do?
On the way home, usually. Or stop off and get something.
Sometimes I'm like that, but... Yeah.
I don't do a big shop, you see. I never do a big shop.
Oh, really?
Dangerous for the bank balance.
So...
And where do you tend to shop?
Aldi.
Oh, well, that's all right.
On the sort of daily or every other day at Aldi?
I just grab like something, you know.
I
don't waste anything.
No, that's good.
Well, yeah, I suppose there is less waste doing it that way.
You know, and sometimes, like last night, like Harriet had something ready. Well, she didn't have it ready, but she'd bought the stuff, and it was, so you know.
Sometimes you get lucky, is what you're saying.
Yeah. I'm lucky every day. I'm blessed indeed.
That's lovely.
I don't know what I'm having for my tea, but it'll be delicious because it always is.
What time? What time's your tea?
Why you can't come round and use yours is sorted. Have you got enough chicken thighs and gnocchi for me?
Maybe that's.
Oh, that's nice.
Is that an invitation?
You can have a tea. You can both come have a tea. Then. That'd be really nice.
That'd be lovely. Yeah, we should do that. Yeah.
Oh, I'd love a tea.
Yeah. What are you having for yours?
I'm going to grab a chippy on my way home because I'm going to see my nana. My nana's moved to where I live, so near where I live, and she's been in Wales for a large part of my life, so it's actually amazing that she's going to be close. So we're going
to...
So you're having a chippy tea with your nan?
Yes.
Gorgeous.
That sounds good.
That'd be nice.
Yeah, that's lovely.
Lovely.
Super. Right.
All right then, piss off.
Thanks for listening.
Yes, thank you for listening.
Bye.
Bye.
Our Art Podcast is a KUPOD production in association with 1853 Studios and Gallery in Oldham, Greater Manchester. For more information, check out the links in the show notes. This series has been partly funded by Arts Council England.